Hey YouTube, this is Primetime Pokemon. In this video, I'll be reviewing and then giving away the Stormcaller theme deck. This is one of two theme decks from the Lost Thunder expansion. This deck is based around Raikou and is a lightning type deck. These theme decks are normally $12.99 in stores. I purchased this one from Collector's Cash for $9.99. So the remainder of this video, I'll go over the general strategy with the deck, show the deck checklist, and then go through each and every card, and then end the video with the rules to entry for the giveaway. So the Stormcaller theme deck says, ride the wind with the surging power of the legendary Pokemon Raikou. This high voltage deck has the support to charge up potent hits and run some risks for the big knockout. Master the lightning with the Stormcaller theme deck. Of course, the theme deck includes the 60 Pokemon card deck, the card checklist, a Pokemon coin, a 2-player playmat and rule sheet, a code card for the online TCG, a deck box, and some damage counters. Here are the items inside the theme deck. The deck box, which can hold up to 60 cards. The Pokemon coin, gold and black in color. The special holo of Raikou, the featured Pokemon with the theme deck. The online TCG code card, and whoever wins this theme deck gets the online code card as well. The checklist for Lost Thunder, 236 total cards in the expansion. The 2-player playmat and rule sheet. And then the damage counters, Burn and Poison marker and GX marker. I prefer using the ones from the Elite Trainer boxes. On the screen now you can see the deck checklist, and if you're trying to build a competitive deck, you're never going to want to do a 20-20-20 split like this deck. You want to have a lot more trainer cards and then fewer energy and Pokemon. Now the general strategy with this deck is to get lightning energy into the Lost Zone and then be able to attack with Raikou, doing major damage every turn. Ampharos, the ability on that card allows you to move energy to the Lost Zone, and then both Zebstrika and Naganadel are very good. Zebstrika allows you to draw new cards into your hand, and Naganadel accelerates energy into play. I can go through the Pokemon first. 20 total Pokemon. Started off with the main attacking line in the deck, Raikou. 2 total Raikou from the Lost Thunder expansion, 120 HP. You'd like to see this card with 130. Just the one attack on the card, Lost Voltage, for 2 energy does 30 damage. Plus, if you have any lightning energy cards in the Lost Zone, this attack does 90 more damage. So a lot of decks out there right now are the one prize attackers. So if you can do 120 damage, that can knock out quite a few of those Pokemon. So this is a decent card, especially for a theme deck. Next up would be the Mareep, Flaaffy, Ampharos line. A 3-2-2 line of this Pokemon family. You'd like to see rare candy in this deck to be able to skip over Flaaffy. Mareep, 60 HP for a basic, a low retreat cost, and 1 attack, Thunder Shock, which for 1 lightning energy does 10 damage and paralyzes the defending Pokemon if you get a heads when flipping a coin. Flaaffy would be next, a lower HP of only 80. It does have a low retreat cost, which is useful. Signal Beam for 2 lightning energy does 40 damage and confuses the defending Pokemon. And then Ampharos here, 150 HP on a stage 2. The card's ability is the reason to use this Pokemon line in the theme deck. A decent retreat cost of 2 colorless energy. Unseen Flash, its ability says, once during your turn, you may put 2 lightning energy cards from your hand in the Lost Zone. If you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. So I like the fact that all 3 Pokemon in this line can inflict special conditions. And then of course you want to use Unseen Flash from the bench, and then Raikou can do 120 damage every single turn. Split Bomb does spread damage around. For 2 lightning energy, it does do 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. That way you can then do 170 total damage if you first use Split Bomb and then Lost Voltage on Raikou. So I do like the combination of Ampharos and Raikou. They work very well together. Of course, Lost March is a great archetype from Lost Thunder. I've had success with it. A 3-1 line of Blitzle and Zebstrika are next. So far, all these Pokemon have been from the Lost Thunder expansion. Blitzle, a decent HP of 70, a low retreat cost, and 2 moves, Flop and Zap Kick, that do 10 and 20 damage respectively. And then 1 copy of Zebstrika, a good HP of 110. Sprint is a great ability. It does have a low retreat cost, and Headbolt does do 60 damage for 2 energy. This is a card you want to leave on the bench and use its ability there. Once during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 4 cards. I've seen lots of competitive decks out there use Ditto Prism Star and evolve Ditto into Zebstrika. That way you don't have to mess with Blitzle. But a great ability on this card. 2 good abilities so far in Sprint and Unseen Flash. Another good ability on this next Pokemon line. A 3-2 line of Poipole and Naganadel. Poipole here, which is from Lost Thunder, 70 HP, a low retreat cost, 2 moves, Eye Opener and Peck. Eye Opener lets you look at your face down prize cards for 1 colorless energy, and then Peck for 2 colorless energy does 20 damage. But you want to get Naganadel set up on the bench. This stage 1 has 130 for its HP, which is very good. Its ability, Charging Up, says once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And then Turning Point for 3 colorless energy. If you have exactly 3 prize cards remaining, this attack does 80 more damage. And the very popular deck coming from Lost Thunder would be Blacephalon GX Naganadel. Charging Up is a great way to accelerate energy into play. And Turning Point, as far as a theme deck goes, is pretty good, doing 160 damage when you do have 3 prize cards. So some big time attackers in this deck so far. Raikou and then Naganadel. Very good abilities on 3 different cards now. And then lastly, 2 colorless type Pokemon, 1 each of Smeargle and Furfrou. I like the looks of this Smeargle. An HP of 80, which is decent, a low retreat cost, and 2 moves. Stunning Likeness says your opponent reveals their hand. You may use the effect of a supporter card you find there as the effect of this attack. So if you can get Smeargle into the active Pokemon spot to start the game, you can actually use 2 supporters in 1 turn and potentially get your hand or the board state set up very quickly. And then Tail Smash for 1 colorless energy does 30 damage. However, if you get a Tails when flipping a coin, the attack does nothing. And then 1 copy of Furfrou, 90 HP. This is from Forbidden Light. Return is its only move that for 1 colorless energy does 20 damage, and it says you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. So similar to what Sprint does on Zebstrika. But overall with the Pokemon in the deck, it is a decent deck as far as a theme deck goes. I really like the combination of Raikou and Ampharos, and of course Naganadel and Zebstrika, 2 very good abilities. So you could definitely buy this theme deck and take out some of the cards and put it into something more competitive. Now on to the trainer cards, 20 total. I can show the supporter cards first. 2 copies of How from Celestial Storm just allows you to draw 3 cards. Lily and Cynthia, both better than How. Professor Kukui, 2 copies of this card. It says, draw 2 cards. During this turn, your Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is a very good card to use with Raikou. The difference between doing 120 damage and 140 damage is very big. It knocks out a lot more Pokemon very easily. And then there's just 1 copy of the remaining supporters here. Copycat allows you to shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw a card for each card in your opponent's hand. This is from Celestial Storm. Professor Kukui is from Sun and Moon base set. Kahili from Lost Thunder says, draw 2 cards, then flip a coin. If heads, if you play this Kahili from your hand, put this card into your hand instead of the discard pile. So you can potentially draw 2 cards and then draw 2 cards the next turn as well. Lady would be next. Search your deck for up to 4 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. And this can be used first, and then you can use Unseen Flash from Ampharos to get those lightning energy into the Lost Zone. This card is from Forbidden Light. Lily, one of the better supporters out there. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. If it's your first turn, draw cards until you have 8 cards in your hand. This is from Ultra Prism. I believe it's also in Sun and Moon base set. Pokemon Fan Club. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. I like Professor Elm's lecture a little bit better, but this is better because you can go and find Pokemon with HP higher than 60. And then the final supporter would be Tate and Liza. 2 options on this card. You can either shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 5 cards, or switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So a decent variety of supporters there. Next would be the item cards. First up would be Nest Ball. 2 copies of this card. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. Rescue Stretcher. 2 copies of this card. You can either move 1 Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand, or up to 3 Pokemon from your discard pile back into your deck. Shuffle those Pokemon. Timer Ball. There are 2 Timer Ball in the deck. Flip 2 coins for each head, search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Because there is not rare candy in the deck, and there are lots of Stage 1 Pokemon, this can be very useful. Energy Switch would be next, just 1 copy of the remaining item cards. Move a basic energy from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. So maybe you get a Pokemon that you really don't want into the active Pokemon spot, for example. Or if you know a Pokemon is going to get knocked out, you can use Energy Switch to save that energy. Escape Rope would be next. Each player switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. Your opponent switches first. So a little bit simplified version of something like Guzma. Swish just allows you to switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. And then the final item card would be Ultra Ball, a staple in most competitive decks. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So you can discard 2 Lightning Energy, for example, and then accelerate those Lightning type energy back into play with Naganadel's Charging Up ability. So a good variety of item cards there as well. Ideally, in competitive decks, you want multiple copies of the better supporter and item cards. But again, just like the Pokemon, some very good trainer cards in this theme deck. Overall, before I get to the energy cards, I would give this deck about a 4 out of 5 rating. It is an above average theme deck overall, especially with some of the competitive cards like Naganadel and Zebstrika. 20 total lightning energy cards are in the deck. Most competitive decks out there run anywhere between about 5 and 12 or 13 energy. So 20 is probably too much, but there are some big time attackers in this deck, so you want to make sure and have enough energy on your Pokemon to be able to attack each and every turn. So I think that concludes this review portion of the theme deck review. All you have to do to be eligible for this giveaway is you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and then comment on this video just stating that you'd like to enter this giveaway. At the end of November, so November 30th, I will be selecting a winner via the comment section of this video via a random number generator, and then I will be emailing the winner of this giveaway. So good luck to everyone who does enter. You'll find complete rules to entry in the description of this video. So thanks everyone for watching. As always, before you go, make sure to check out all the links in the description of this video, including links to my blog, Facebook, and Twitter pages. So thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.